Anxiety is a thief. It steals your peace, your sleep, your focus, your confidence, and sometimes even your joy. And the worst part is, most of the time, you look totally normal on the outside while you're falling apart on the inside. I want to help you change that. I want to help you breathe again. I want to help you quiet the noise in your mind so you can finally feel like yourself. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to have a real path to calm, clarity, and control in your life again. Let's begin with the truth. Anxiety is not you being weak. Anxiety is not you being dramatic. Anxiety is your mind trying to protect you, just in a very bad way. Overthinking is your brain saying, let me prepare for danger that might not even exist. But I want you to hear me. Anxiety doesn't show up when you're broken. It shows up when you're overwhelmed, unsupported, or carrying too much for too long. You're not crazy, you're overloaded. The real problem is that anxiety is sneaky. It doesn't just come as panic, it comes as constant what-ifs, constant self-doubt, constant scenarios in your head that feel real even though they're imaginary. It comes as overthinking every text message, overanalyzing every conversation, worrying about what people think and assuming the worst about the future. And because it all happens in your mind, you feel trapped. You can't escape your thoughts, so it feels there's no exit. But there is, and I'm going to walk you through it. The first step to overcoming anxiety is understanding what's actually happening inside you. When you get anxious or start overthinking, your brain is doing one thing, trying to protect you from disappointment, danger, embarrassment, or pain. Your mind thinks, if I worry enough, I can prevent something bad. But worrying doesn't prevent pain, it just creates pain early. Anxiety makes you suffer twice, once in your imagination and once in real life if the thing even ever happens. Anxiety is basically a false fire alarm. Your body reacts as if there's a fire, but there's no fire, just the alarm. So healing anxiety is not about fighting yourself. It's about retraining your alarm system so it goes off only when there's a real fire. The moment you stop hating your anxiety and start understanding it is the moment you begin to take your power back. Now, before I go deeper, I want to say something small. If this is already speaking to you and you want more content that actually helps you feel calm, confident, and grounded, follow me on all platforms. I'm here to help you live with more peace and less noise. Okay, back to it. One of the biggest drivers of anxiety is over-responsibility. You feel responsible for people's reactions, people's feelings, their expectations, their opinions, their approval. You walk around like you're on trial, so you constantly overthink because you never feel safe to be imperfect, honest, or human. If I could give you one sentence to tattoo into your mind, it's this: you are not responsible for everyone's emotional weather. You're responsible for your sky, not the entire forecast. Another major source of anxiety is imagination used against you. The same imagination that can create dreams, ideas, and creativity can also create fear, paranoia, and panic. You don't have an overthinking problem, you have an imagination problem that's been hijacked. But that means you can take it back. The mind that scares you is the same mind that can heal you. So let's talk solutions. The first tool for anxiety is breaking the thought loop. Most anxious spirals start with a single thought that multiplies. You interrupt the loop by doing something physical and real. Stand up, walk, stretch, drink cold water. Breathe in for 4 seconds, out for 6. When your body calms, your brain follows. The body leads the mind more than the mind leads the body. The second tool is questioning your thoughts. Anxiety talks in extremes. Always, never, everyone, everything, what ifs. When you hear thoughts like that, challenge them. Ask, is this true? Is this useful? Is this happening right now? Most anxious thoughts collapse when confronted with present moment truth. The third tool is giving your fear a voice, but a scheduled one. Allow yourself 10 minutes a day to worry on purpose. Not all day, just 10 minutes. When worries show up outside that window, tell them, not now, worry time is later. This trains your mind that anxiety does not get 24 access to your attention anymore. Another powerful tool is connection. Anxiety grows in isolation. When you keep everything in your head, it becomes bigger than it is. Speak your fears out loud to someone safe. Shame and fear cannot survive in daylight. The moment you bring your thoughts into a conversation, the spell breaks. You remember you're not alone, and being not alone is medicine. Let's talk about control for a moment. Anxiety is deeply tied to control. You're trying to control your outcomes, reactions, timing, people, and the future. But control is an illusion that becomes a prison. The more you try to control everything, the more anxious you feel. Peace begins the moment you accept what you cannot control and focus your energy on what you can. Your choices, your breathing, your habits, your self-talk, your boundaries, your focus, your environment. And can we talk about boundaries? Because a lot of anxiety is actually the absence of boundaries. You say yes when your soul is screaming no. You make yourself emotionally available to people who drain you. You tolerate chaos because you don't want to upset anyone. But peace is impossible without boundaries. Calm is impossible without boundaries. When you protect your time, your space, your energy, your heart, your mind, you reduce anxiety at the root. You deserve a life that feels safe on the inside, not just one that looks fine on the outside. You deserve mornings that start without dread. You deserve nights where your brain doesn't bully you. You deserve relationships where you can relax. You deserve a nervous system that isn't in fight or flight all the time. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. The opposite of anxiety is not bravery, it's safety. When a person feels safe emotionally, mentally, relationally, their nervous system relaxes. Your anxiety isn't asking you to be braver, it's asking you to build a safer life on the inside. A life where you can breathe. A life where you don't abandon yourself to others. A life where you feel grounded in who you are. Your mind is loud right now, but your loud doesn't mean it's true. Loud does not mean final. Loud does not mean wise. Loud just means you're scared, and scared minds need compassion, not punishment. Talk to yourself like someone you love. If you wouldn't speak to a child or a best friend the way you speak to yourself in your mind, then your self-talk needs to change. Kindness is not weakness, it's stabilization. As we close, I want you to imagine something. Imagine waking up and your first feeling is not dread but calm. Imagine a day where your mind is quieter. Imagine going to sleep without a mental hurricane. That future is possible. Not with magic, not overnight, but step by step, breath by breath, choice by choice. And if you want help on that journey, practical tools, emotional support, and steady encouragement, follow me on all platforms. I'm here to help you break free from the noise in your mind and live with more peace and presence. You don't have to do this alone. Anxiety is loud, but you can be louder. Not by shouting over it, but by building a life and a mindset that makes anxiety irrelevant. You are capable of calm. You are capable of clarity. You are capable of peace. Your mind is not your enemy. It's a sacred friend that needs leadership. And you are becoming that leader. You deserve peace. You deserve calm. You deserve a mind that feels like home, not a battlefield. And you are on your way.